South Africa's small businesses are heading into 2026 with more favourable environments aiding their growth than the year before. Economic indicators point to an improved environment overall, with lower interest rates environments and softer inflation, among other green shoots. However, business funders warn business owners not to rush blindly into expanding, but to prepare carefully. Diabo Setu reports.
South Africa heads into 2026 on a better economic footing than in recent years. The macroeconomic indicators show modest growth prospects, which experts say should be positive for the country's small business sector.
It's been quite positive from some of the economic indicators, such as inflation, which has remained within more or less the inflation target. The rand has strengthened quite significantly over the last few days. Interest rates have come down. We take another decision today as to whether that comes down. Still divided views. GDP growth forecasts are positive, somewhere between 1.4 to 1.6% for 2026, which I think is a good step forward. And obviously, the removal from the grey list also opens up avenues for more foreign direct investment and just opens up the environment for more infrastructural development, which will impact SMEs quite substantially. Why? Because further down that supply chain, SME services, goods and services get used and so on. So I think it will be a better year for SMEs.
Subramani, the interim managing executive of SME business at Absa Business Banking, notes the bank's small business growth index that shows that around 59% of small businesses anticipate moderate to strong growth over the next 12 months. Surveyed respondents see growth intentions are largely domestic, with 92% planning to expand locally and 72% nationally, while a smaller but notable share is looking outward, with 45% intending to export and 67% aiming to grow their online presence.
And what we can see is that on the back of these green shoots that we're talking about, from an economic perspective, SMEs are also feeling more confident now about the future. But they have gone from, a couple of years ago where they were quite conservative, now to a place of what we're calling cautious optimism. So they're optimistic, but they're still cautious about, what they're going to do going forward. But overall, we've seen that, the confidence has improved. What this tells us is that we can't take for granted that they're going to thrive. As institutions, as policymakers, as financial partners, we still have a role to play in supporting SMEs with this cautious, optimistic outlook that they have.
But with load shedding easing, the lenders warn that water is fast becoming the next big operational threat. Chief Risk Officer at Lula, Garth Rossiter, says any serious disruption has a massive knock-on effect onto business.
In terms of the water, that's a massive issue. Obviously, we've dealt with power problems, but you can live without power for a little while. It's going to impact your margins. Lack of water really could result in some serious disruption to communities in general. And I think that for me that has massive knock-on effects to the businesses. The inability to access water is a disaster. So it's something that really needs to be addressed. We've been through this cycle a number of times. I think it's just really important that we start planning for these events. We are in a water-scarce country. We go through wet periods and we forget about it. So I think we really need to start planning as a government and providing basic infrastructure, building more capacity over time.
Subramani agrees that this is an issue that keeps small business owners awake.
One of the elements that keeps business owners awake. And so we're starting to see more and more small businesses starting to think about backup storage in the best interest of the business and to make sure it's sustainable going forward. There has definitely been this shift from an infrastructure perspective from electricity to water.
Firms should use this breathing space to future-proof, not relax. To take advantage of this period, the experts recommend a few things that business owners can do to benefit. This includes sharpening funding plans and improving credit scores.
It is a magnificent time to be looking at improving your credit rating. So the credit rating, in simple terms, isn't a no. It's not the difference between you getting funding or not getting funding. It determines the price you're paying. So it's a yes at what price. So if you want to pay lower prices or lower interest rates, you need to fix your credit. For businesses in particular, low margin businesses, an increase in 5 or 10% in the interest you pay has a massive impact on your bottom line. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye on your credit, and that means fixing where things have gone wrong. So settling outstanding amounts where you've been avoiding them, and especially in an environment where things are more benign now, economy is improving, you may have surplus cash because of the lower interest rates. Use the opportunity to repay debt, to settle your outstanding obligations. And then once you've done that, you've got a decent credit score and you can look to grow.
A well thought through plan, a sound demonstration of understanding the market and opportunities, and that your expansion makes sense for your business. It's well thought through. The substance is good. So all the assumptions that you're using in that expansion plan is well thought through. The indicators, key drivers in your business is clearly identified and indicated, and that it makes economic sense at the end of the day. So a well thought through plan backed by really passionate entrepreneurs who are willing to back the opportunities that lies ahead, and that they are tangible and not just pie in the sky opportunities. They are tangible, they are well identified, clearly identified, and that the investment expansion and opportunity makes sense. I think it's the right time to start thinking about expansion. Over the last period, SMEs were a bit more reserved. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market and so on. The only big cloud hanging over everyone's heads at the moment is the international tension between the USA and Europe.
2026 is poised to open up opportunities of recovery, acceleration and growth for many small businesses. Experts say the real edge may lie in how they manage risk and structure funding, among other interventions. Diabo Seto, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Russia and Ukraine are continuing